we are in the Czech Republic, as well as a team member who has a birthday. Happy birthday, Brandy.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Brandy. What age are you turning to now?
Thanks, Barry. I am 25 years old now.
Well, I would assume that this being your birthday, you were going to make sure that we had a big case for this one.
Absolutely. Okay, we're headed to Český Krumlov Castle, and the area is made up of about 40 different buildings and palaces. And some of the buildings within the complex were constructed as early as the 13th century. Now, the claims of activity range from a suicidal actress who may still be repeating her final performance, a baroness who supposedly still appears whenever there's a party. There are claims recently of activity going on by security guards that have been hearing and seeing a full-bodied apparition.
All right, well, this is it coming up. This entire thing in front of us is all part of it. So let's get inside and see what we got. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hana.
Nice to
Welcome
meet
to
you.
Český Krumlov. And this is Mr. Slavko, director of the castle.
Pánové, zdravím vás. Dobrý den. Dobrý den, zdravím vás. Kolegyně Hana vás provede zajímavým veliké překvapení.
So, me, Hana, is gonna show you interesting spots at the castle.
Terrific. Shall we head in?
There are a lot of legends told about different ghosts appearing at the castle complex, so we decided to bring GHI here to find out whether there is some paranormal activity present and where, which locations. Let me tell you first, Castle Český Krumlov is one of the largest complexes in Europe, which contains 5 courtyards and about 43 buildings. Total size is 15 acres. First information about the castle comes back to 11th century. In the 18th century, the castle became a property of Schwarzenbergs until World War II, when the Nazis occupied the castle here. Okay, so we are now at the Castle Theatre. It's the oldest still functioning theatre in Europe. In the 17th century, the beautiful actress Evelina fell in love with an actor. Unfortunately, the actor didn't love her the same way. So at the end of the play, she pulled the dagger and stabbed herself. She died on the stage. When cleaners were cleaning here, they heard some voices.
Now, these voices that people are reporting, are we talking about male, female?
Well, I believe they were female voices.
All right, shall we head on?
Yeah.
We'll follow you.
Okay, so now we are in the depository of Český Krumlov. Here you can see it is skeleton of a woman, which is dressed in a beautiful Baroque clothes from the 9th century. There is a lot of mysteries connected to the skeleton. We just assume that it could have been Saint Reparata, because most significant remains were presented to Castle Krumlov by Pope himself.
If she was possibly a saint, why, I mean, how would she wind up in this kind of state? Why wouldn't she be buried?
Well, this is the unexplained mysteries. We have no further information. There will be a lot of anthropological researches carried out in upcoming years, which will hopefully clarify the mysteries. Okay, this is called Summer House Bellaria, and it was built in 1690, and it was built basically just to host beautiful parties.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you inside. It is said that Baroness Maknevenova, she was just a very beautiful lady who used to stay at the castle. There was a party, and she complained of a headache. So someone recommended her to drink a glass of strong red wine, and right after she did, she fell to the ground and died. It is believed that the lady is actually on the painting over there in front of you, because she used to wear a red dress. Also, a lady has been appearing here whenever there is a big party.
All right, shall we head on?
Okay, so this is the entrance to the castle tower, and dates back to the 13th century.
One day I was crossing the castle courtyard at the entrance to the old tower, and I heard some footsteps behind me, but some force was stopping me from turning around. When the footsteps got close, it felt like somebody was breathing down my back and then hugged me. When it released me, I could finally turn around, and I saw a dark shape that suddenly disappeared.
So take a look, there is a castle dungeon. All the prisoners used to be just thrown down, so they break their legs, and then the hole was covered, so they died. At the end of 16th century, one of the alchemists practicing here was down in the dungeon, and he died of unexplained reasons. Supposedly he has been seen around this area, around the dungeon, and also walking up the stairs towards the top of the tower. Okay, here we are at the top of the tower, so with this beautiful view of the entire city. I have the last story to share with you, which is story of White Lady. It's a ghost of this castle which has been appearing basically everywhere.
Thank you so much for taking us around. Gonna go get the rest of the team, get unpacked, get set up, and get to work.
Okay, thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Joe? Brandy has set us up with an incredible case for tonight. It's definitely the biggest location we've ever done. The team's ready. We're getting the equipment set up now.
Just go straight up.
But we're going to see what's really going on here. Rob and Ashley in the theater. I'm going to go set up audio recorder on the stage. While I'm setting this up, go take the balcony right up there. And you can run the analog when you get up there. What I'm hoping to capture in this theater is a EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, which is where you ask questions of a possible spirit, and when you go back and listen to the recording, you actually pick up an answer to your question or some kind of vocalized response. You recording?
Yeah. I'll do a little thermal look around here.
Dustin and I headed down to the wine cellar where there's been a couple different reports of 2 different apparitions down here. Audio session, Joe and Brandy in the closet with the saint.
The saint.
We call upon any spirits that still remain here. We ask for you to share your knowledge with us. Please help us understand who this individual laying in front of us is.
Through abandoned houses that everyone said was haunted, with my mom, the whole nine, and it was fun. Watch your step. Shh, 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 shh.
I thought I heard a voice.
I thought it was a woman's voice.
At one point, I thought I heard a voice.
Dustin, Randy.
Yeah, Barry, we got you.
Joe and I are up on the 3rd floor. We're still hearing noises down and below. Can you come up and investigate as well? We're going to need twice as much people here.
Okay, 10-4, brother. We're on our way.
Okay.
Back up the hill, Greenie.
We wound up with the perfect opportunity to have this party for Brandy. The location we're at, one of the buildings actually has a story that a spirit actually comes forward in a red dress every time a party is thrown.
Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome. If there's anyone else here with us, you're welcome to join us at any time. I'm glad she had a great time. I want to make sure that we go very thoroughly through the DVR footage and see if possibly we had another guest that we didn't see.
Nice to meet you again.
Good to see you.
So I wonder what is your result of your investigation?
The location was beautiful. It was very challenging. This is one of the largest cases that we've done. We systematically sent multiple teams in to document whatever we could. In certain locations like the wine cellar, fortunately there was no sign of any apparitions or figures walking around down there. But we do have some personal experiences.
Some of the bigger things that happened was in the theater. Certainly we had many different times where there was sounds of footsteps, movement, boards creaking, and unfortunately we did not recover any evidence from inside the theater.
Also in the room with the skeletal remains of the woman, the saint, nothing came forward from that. We had a team in there for a while.
What about the tower?
Actually, the tower is interesting. There were some things that happened there that we're going to talk to you about.
The first thing we did when we went in to start the investigation, we have simple digital voice recorder.
Okay.
Dustin took it down to the bottom of the dungeon. We come back several hours later to retrieve it, and the batteries are dead.
So they shouldn't have been dead.
Shouldn't have been dead. I know for a fact I put new batteries in it, but it only had about 4 minutes of recording time that was used.
Yeah, which is very short.
Well, here's something else. We have the recording that happened before the batteries died, and there was something down there in the dungeon.
So I just want you to take a close listen to this.
So it was something that seemed to be in that room, very close to the recorder, except that there was no one down there.
What do you think it is?
At this point, certainly it would be a stretch for us to say it was something paranormal, but we don't know what created that sound next to the recorder before it shut off. We do, however, have some recordings that I think give a better idea of what we may have been hearing in the sounds that were being created.
At one point in the evening, I was in there with Brandy. Pretty much we're going to be listening for something that we actually heard while we were sitting there.
Do you understand what it is that we're trying to do?
Oh yeah, a little bit. It sounds a bit like a female voice.
It does seem to be this female voice in response.
But by female, there is no legend connected.
Well, we know that
female.
Exactly. We know that the white lady travels the entire place, so we have more for you.
What I'm going to show you now, Hannah, is something that we captured. In this particular case, it was this room right here in the summer house, hoping to capture a glimpse of this lady with the red dress that shows up at parties and such. As you can see here, this is the room that we're seated in now. That is that back room down there.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And what I want you to focus on is right over there, okay?
So you mean that white line?
I'm going to play it for you again so you get a better look at it. Kind of goes by kind of quick. Now what we're seeing here is a light appearing where nobody else is.
We know it's not a bug, we know it's not a camera glitch, but what is it? It's hard to say. It does seem to be paranormal. It's beyond what is normal. But is that enough to connect it to spirit activity? Not yet. And that's kind of the way this case went. You heard some of the audio. There seemed to be some things going on. But certainly, given the evidence or kind of lack thereof, it's not enough for us to say that any particular location here is haunted.
Well, we just don't know. We can guess. Yeah. Thanks for coming here.
Oh, thank you. Shall we head out? Here we go.
Personally, I think at the present time, the ghosts just left us. But it's definitely good to have GHI here to prove that castle is not haunted.
You know, we have to draw a line between something that's strange and something that could have a spirit activity in nature. An EVP that is in response to a question is a lot different than a disembodied voice that we just can't figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. In our case, there's not enough evidence to say that this place is haunted.
That being said, we got to work towards getting back to the hotel, getting the rest of the team, and keeping it moving.
That's it, brother. Rock and roll.